All right, hello once again. This is Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College, and I've been going over some HTML and HTML5 fundamentals. In the first video here on this, I went over some of the major tags, and I got up to about right here. So in this particular lecture, I'm going to start with unordered lists, and we'll take it from there and see how far we get. All right, so just been building this. If I take out my and uncomment everything just so you can see everything that's in here right now, this is what I showed from what was in there previously. Header tags, paragraph tags, bolding with both the B tag and the strong tag, italicizing with both the I tag and the M tag, markup tag, small tag, del tag, ins tag, subscript tag, and superscript tag. So those are what I've gone over thus far. All right, so I'm again going to take what I had in here and I'm going to comment it out. So now we're starting, for lack of better words, pretty much with just a brand new page. There we go. All right, let me close a few of these. In fact, let me close all of them. That's fine. All right. So again, we want to now go into the land of unordered lists, ordered lists, and definition lists. So, unordered list, as their name says, supposes that there's no kind of order. Well, unordered lists go between beginning and ending UL tags. And if there's something in there that doesn't have any order to it, so let's say that I was going to give you a list of cities, and that list of cities are both where I live, where I work, and cities that are near me. So when you have an unordered list, they're inside of what are called list items, beginning and ending LI tags. Okay, so I'm going to put, now if I save this and run it, I'll probably have just 6 dots on the screen. Now, I don't have anything, but I think it's because I didn't save it. See? So, that doesn't show me much, but let's put those in there. Again, there's no rhyme or reason to the order in which I'm putting these. So, Lake St. Louis, Wentzville, St. Charles, St. Peter's, Troy, and I think this is the right name, Weldon Springs. And if I wanted to, I could say, put an H1 tag here that says a list of cities near me. They're not in alphabetic order. They're not in order of where they actually appear on a map or whatever. I just put them in there. Okay, and you can see that by default, they come in there and they have dots. Now, HTML list style type. You notice there's a list style type, and I can set them to disk, to circle. I didn't even know about these, but the ones that are used most often when you're working with an unordered list are circles and squares. All right, and disk. So let's try all of them. So we're going to say list style type. Don't know if it'll take it right here or not. Let's try square. I don't know if it'll take it, me putting it in here like this. This may not work. Nope. They did not make squares. At least as far as I can tell, those are not squares. But we can tell. I'm going to change that from, let's make it circle. Oops. And it didn't change at all. So what I can do, I didn't really want to do this, but I will put in a little bit of CSS near the top of the page here. And I'm going to put it in internally, so within style tags. All right, so list style type circle. In fact, let's change it to square. And we'll run the page again. Now you see they are squares. All right, I can come in here and I can put in circle. And there's circles that are not filled in. If I want the circle that's filled in, I use disk. All right. And with disk, I get the filled in circles. There's also other ways that you can go and you can put in actually your own. So if you've got a GIF or something, you can put your own stuff in there. I should mention, in case you hear any background noise, I'm taping this in my apartment, and the people above me, for whatever reason, they seem to like to run around upstairs. I don't know why, but they do. All right. So again, the key thing about an unordered list is that it's not really in any kind of order. Okay? So let me put that down here. And now I'm going to put another H1 tag here. And I'm going to put members of my family by age. Oldest first. So now there is some order to it. OL. And instead of a UL, it's an OL. And just like we had before, we'll have LI tags. All right, but now I'm going to change this. So Sandy, who's a little older than I am. Jeff, my oldest daughter Taylor, my middle daughter Mackenzie, and my youngest daughter Chloe. All right, and notice now when I run this, they are in order. All right. And I do want you to realize that when I do the OLs, I can put them in different kinds of orders. All right, so for OL, I'm going to put list type alpha. And you notice, whoop, didn't take. Don't want that either. Go back to here. I guess lower alpha or upper alpha. Okay. So I'm going to show you a few of these. Lower dash alpha. Okay, pretty obvious what's going on there. Upper alpha. Pretty obvious what's going on there. Lower Roman. Lowercase Roman numerals. And upper Roman, where you will get, here's a surprise, uppercase Roman numerals. So you see there's a lot of different ways that I can do this. All right, and the easiest way when you're doing that is to just set up different types. All right, let's go down and let's continue on. And I'm going to put in a definition list. And definition lists are filled with definition terms. So I'm going to put in here CPU. And the definition itself, I think DD is right. And that'll be Central Processing Unit. And I'm going to put in 3 of these. Second one will be RAM. And RAM is random access memory. And the last one we'll put in here bit, which is binary digit. Now, hopefully I did this right. If I did it wrong, I'm going to have to go look it up, but hopefully I did it right. Okay, so notice what you get. You get the term, and then down below it, tabbed in, you get the definition. Now, I don't use these very often. There are some people who, it's the old joke, you either swear by them or swear at them. I don't do either, but I just don't use them very often. I don't see the need. I think there's other ways that you can display that information in a better way. But again, that's me. You may or may not agree, and there may come a time when there's a very good reason for you to use this. All right, so quickly, that was these 3 right here. Doing great for time. All right, evidently I paused and I didn't realize that I paused. So what I did was I went out to the internet and found some images. And let me undo this. Well, not there. And I talked a little bit about the 3 basic types of images. Those are JPEGs, PNGs, and GIFs. GIFs are about the cheesiest. They're typically used for simple logos. They have a minimal number of colors that you can use. Okay? And JPEGs are probably the best as far as for quality and the like. With GIFs, you get what's called lossless compression. So when you save a file and you change the size and you etc., typically it's going to be cleaner, all right? But if you take a JPEG and you change the size or whatever, or you start working with the colors, GIFs have what are called a lossless compression. So the system tries to keep it as true as possible. JPEGs have a lossy compressions, which means that you're not going to be able to keep it probably the way you want it to look. A PNG is like an alternative between the two. All right, so it tries to grab the best features of each one. When you do images, as you notice right here, you must put a source tag in there. And if I put something in like this, where I don't have that file by that name, I'm going to get this. All right, and it's showing me, and it says puppies right here. Well, what the heck did it get puppies from? Got it from right there. All right, if we change this to puppies playing, and we bring that up, puppies playing. All right, so typically if you get the alt tag and you don't get your image, either you spelled the name of your image file wrong or you gave it a wrong path. All right, so when the source doesn't show, whatever the alt tag shows instead. It's considered mandatory today to have both a source tag and an alt tag. Putting a width and a height are optional always. But by putting those in there, what you're doing is you're sending a signal to the browser as far as how much space it should put aside width-wise and height-wise to hold the image. All right, so that was very quick, but just so you see that, okay, so you've got a chance to take a look at all those. Oops. Let's talk a little bit about tables. And that'll probably be it for this particular lecture. We're about at 15 minutes. Yeah. All right, tables go within table tags. The big thing about tables is tables should only be used for tabular data. So let's suppose that I want to take everyone in my family and I want to put their name and their age. All right, to do it as simple as possible, I have a table tag. So tables go within table tags. All right, and within table tags, I've got table rows, and within table rows, I've got table data. So I could say here, name, and I'm going to change this as I go along, and I'll put here age. All right, and in that row, okay. My wife says that she is forever 29, so that's what I'm going to make her. All right, now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to just do some copying so you don't have to watch me type. So we've got Sandy, followed by me, and I am 60 years of age. I then have my daughter, so there's Taylor, who is, I believe, 26. I have Mackenzie, who I believe is 25. And I have Chloe, who I believe is 20. Okay, so if I do this and I run it, there it is. And you see it doesn't look like a table. Well, let's make some changes so it looks more like a table. All right, the first thing we probably want to do is to put a border around this. So border equal 1. And by just adding that one thing, it's starting to look more tabular in nature. Now, it's very hard to look at this and know that name and age are headings. So what I can do here is instead of making these two TDs, I can make them THs, which means table heading. So tables go within table tags. Within table tags are TR tags, which is table row. And within table row tags are either THs for table headings or TD tags for table data. So now when I look in here, you'll notice now my headings are bolded. Okay. Now there's other things that I can do. Okay. I can come in here and I can say that this area in here is a T head area. And I can come in here and I can say, in fact, I think I should do that outside of here. Oops. And then I can come in here and say that this is my T-body area. Now, if I did this right, this should look absolutely no difference when I run this. And it doesn't. That's good. And if I had a footer at the bottom, I don't, but if I had a footer at the bottom, then at the very bottom here, I could put T-foot. Okay? I don't have one, but I can leave it in there anyway. It won't hurt anything. The other thing I can add at the top of my table, if I want to, is I can add a caption. Members of the Scott family. pretty obvious again what happened there. All right, now that's very simplistic, but what I wanted to show you more than anything else was how we can create a very simple table. Now there's other things that you can do. So let's change this a little bit. It's going to look kind of silly for what I'm about to do, but I just want you to see it. So I'm going to put in here, we'll put in here first name, and we'll put in here last name and age. So I'm going to put, all of these will be the same, so that's what makes it kind of silly to do it, but it's okay. This is meant to show you something. It's meant to be a teaching moment here. Oops. All right, so now I have 3 columns in the table. All right, not that that's a big thing, but what I want to show you is this. What I want to do is I want to have just one heading that just says name and have it take up both these columns. So I can come in here and this TH, I can change this to colspan equal 2, and I'll call this full name. Now I'll get rid of last name, and let's take a look. And you can see what I've done is I've used what's called colspan. So this column now spans 2 columns. And I can do the same thing if I want to down here with rows. I'm not going to do that, but I could put row span in there also. Okay, I think that's about enough for tables. At least for now. We can always go back and revisit later. All right, I'm going to pause for a minute. In fact, I'm going to stop this one right here. And when we come back, we're going to talk about, we'll go into forms in the next one. Okay?